And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the heart of the Inland Empire, right here in sunny Southern California, it's Robert Cardoza Live, where we talk about politics, money, and you. This is the intersection of business and politics. And now here's your host, Robert Cardoza.
And welcome aboard. I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. You know what? This seems to be the week for technical foul-ups. We tried to start the show about 30, 45 seconds ago. We couldn't get anything going. Then all of a sudden it started to go. So here we are. So listen, you know what? Let's talk about what's on the show today. We're going to be talking about what's in the news, new legislation, the IRS loses. And, of course, we're doing our new segment, and that is The Rest of the Story. It's a tribute to the late, great Paul Harvey. And then on today's special segment, we're going to have Sean LaFave. Sean will be here to talk about current events and healthcare. He's on the road right now on the way to Wichita, Kansas, where he's going to be for the next 3 months. But you know what? I know that we always have a great show with Sean, and why today would be any different, I have no idea. So, first of all, I want you to know that at 3:03 p.m. Pacific time, it is currently 86 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. That's on its way down to 60 degrees. But first, now let's talk about the things that you need to know that are in the news. We're going to give you the 10 things that we have that are encapsulated to kind of get you up to date. Then we'll do a little bit more in depth. Here are the 10 things that you need to know for today. Your daily look at late breaking news, upcoming events, and the stories that will be talked about today and tomorrow. And right off the top, a gunman in the deadly attack on Dallas police had plans for a larger assault. Micah Johnson possessed enough explosive material to inflict far greater harm, the city's police chief and top elected official said. And protesters around the United States block major freeways to protest police shootings of black men. Police in riot gear kept protesters from entering a major artery in Baton Rouge and made dozens of arrests. And how open carry law posted challenge to police during Dallas sniper attacks. The presence of many armed individuals caused instant confusion, a scenario that some law enforcement officials predicted when Texas approved the open carry law earlier this year. Well, what Obama will face when he returns from abroad and visits Dallas, he'll try to help Americans make sense of shootings that have emerged as a tipping point in the national debate about race and justice. And heavy explosions shake South Sudan's capital as fighting enters the fifth day. An Associated Press reporter in Juba reported widespread shooting preventing residents from moving around. Well, North Korea vows to end diplomatic communication channels with us. The North hinted at harsher punishment for Americans detained in the country in retaliation for U.S. sanctions that target leader Kim Jong-un. And Carter says the United States will use air base in Iraqi city as a base to recapture Mosul. The U.S. defense chief spoke after landing in Baghdad on an unannounced visit yesterday. Well, how Portugal stunned France to win the European champion final? Well, the Portuguese did it the hard way after playing without injured Ronaldo from the 25th minute through extra time. And Aerosmith guitar Joe Perry hospitalized after becoming ill at a New York City concert. An administrator at Coney Island Hospital confirmed the 65-year-old Perry is undergoing tests. And who made the U.S. women's Olympic gymnastics team? Well, three-time world champion Simone Biles will be joined by defending Olympic champion Gabby Douglas, three-time Olympic medalist Ali Raisman, and newcomers Madison Kosian and Lori Hernandez. Well, that gives you the abbreviated part. Let's talk about the more in-depth part. This is just coming up now. China says ruling could lead to confrontation. The latest on an international tribunal's ruling on the case filed by Philippines against China's claims in the South China Sea. China's ambassador to the United States says an international tribunal ruling that rejected its expansive claims over the South China Sea will intensify conflict and could lead to confrontation. Ambassador Kui Tain Kai, I guess it's Shui Ti Kai, easy for me to say, not so easy to read, also accused the Hague-based tribunal of professional incompetence, saying it was dealing with a sovereignty dispute which is beyond its jurisdiction. The case was brought by the Philippines, a U.S. ally. Wow. That goes on, right? Sure. Well, you know what? Let's talk about what's really, really current, and that is that just actually ended just about an hour or two ago. Obama pays tribute to the Dallas officers shot in a racial attack. At a memorial for slain police officers, President Barack Obama declared today that a week of deeply troubling violence has seemed to expose the deepest fault lines in our democracy. But he insisted that the nation is not as divided as it seems, and called on Americans to find common ground in support of racial equality and equity and justice. Obama acknowledged that Americans are unsettled by another mass shooting and are seeking answers to the violence that has sparked protests in cities and highlighted the nation's persistent racial divide. You know, just a sad time. If you had an opportunity to see that speech, it was just really, really touching. If you didn't, you know what, you owe it to yourself. You know, Google it on YouTube or wherever you Google your stuff or wherever you get your stuff. It's certainly worth listening to. It was a heart-wrenching speech. Well, far and away the best, Sanders finally endorses Clinton. Well, with hugs and handshakes, Bernie Sanders endorsed Hillary Clinton for president today and emphatically told his supporters that their political revolution must now turn to electing his Democratic formal rival. Sanders bestowed his long-awaited support before a boisterous New Hampshire crowd, declaring he wanted to make it as clear as possible as to why I am endorsing Hillary Clinton. He congratulated her for securing enough delegates to win the Democratic nomination and vowed to do everything that he could to help her defeat Republican candidate Donald Trump. Well, there goes that one. At least that's finally, what is it? It's just a few days or, before this thing actually kicks off. So we'll see what happens. In any event, we've got to take a short break. We'll be back, and I'm going to talk to you about Britain's new leader, May, seen as more Merkel than Maggie. You'll understand that when I get to it. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson & Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson & Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson & Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. And we're talking news. Well, you know what? Britain's new leader, easy for me to say, Britain's new leader May, seen as more Merkel than Maggie. Well, you know what? Within moments of Theresa May's confirmation as the next Prime Minister of Britain, London tabloids and wags were comparing her to Britain's Iron Lady of the 1980s, Margaret Thatcher. But those taking a closer look see more in common with Europe's most powerful woman today, Germany's Iron Chancellor, Angela Merkel. Both women have a track record of cautious pragmatism. Merkel famously will sit on the fence on many issues, waiting for consensus to build before she commits herself to whichever side is more likely to work. May demonstrated her own grasp of patient tactics, opting to stay on the policy sidelines during Britain's bruising referendum on European Union membership, positioned in the middle, seemingly the best spot from which to take charge of a divided Conservative Party in the wake of David Cameron's resignation. Boy, just see what happens. You know, it's often said that you cannot tell what Merkel thinks about an issue until the last moment. If even that, May seems to be similarly inscrutable. She waits for her moment, said Hans Kundani, a London-based foreign policy analyst at the German Marshall Fund think tank. You know what? Just seems like they're playing. They can just find out what the most popular part is, I suppose. That's really what's going to go on there. I guess it makes some sense. Well, you know what? Attorney General Lynch defends the decision on the Clinton email inquiry. Attorney General Loretta Lynch deflected a barrage of Republican questions today about her decision not to prosecute Hillary Clinton for her use of private email, saying it would not be appropriate in her role as the nation's top law enforcement official. GOP members of the House Judiciary Committee voiced frustration with the panel's chairman, Bob Goodlatte, I think that's how you pronounce it, in Virginia, telling Lynch her reticence was an abdication of your responsibility. The panel's Democrats tried to change to subject to issues of community policing and gun control in what seemed a warm-up for the fall's campaign season. Lynch repeatedly referred the committee to last week's testimony by FBI Director James Comey, who gave a detailed account of the investigation in a nearly 5-hour appearance before another House panel, and described the rationale for his advice that no charges be brought. Comey is a lifetime Republican who served as Deputy Attorney General during George W. Bush's GOP administration. You know, I don't know why they just need to put that thing to bed once and for all is what I'm thinking in any event, you know. Kind of what I'm thinking. How about this from the sheriff? The inmate who killed 2 at a courthouse cuffed in front. Now, a Michigan sheriff pledged today to review his department's guidelines for transporting subjects charged with violent crimes after an inmate who was cuffed in front rather than behind his back wrested a gun from a deputy and killed 2 court bailiffs. Berrien County Sheriff Paul Bailey initially told reporters that Larry Darnell Gordon was not handcuffed Monday during a brazen courthouse escape attempt. Then today, Bailey revised that account, explaining that Gordon was cuffed in front, but that the restraint was not attached to a belly chain, which security experts say is a safer way to restrict movement. Well, you know what? Seems like anytime they break the rules, something really serious happens. And this is, you know what? Just no change to that. You know what? But I'll tell you what. Just like I have in past days, I'm getting a little tired with the sad news. So let's give you something a little more upbeat. You know what? Mayor, who's also stand-up comedian, is indicted on theft charges. You know, a small city mayor who's also a veteran stand-up comedian was indicted today for 4 felony counts, including election falsification and theft in office. The state auditor's office announcement followed a months-long investigation conviction of Republican Hillsborough Mayor Drew Hastings by special prosecutors appointed by a Highland County judge. The counts also include theft and tampering with records. Hastings said he has done nothing wrong and was mystified when he was served with an indictment while having lunch at a restaurant. I'm only guilty of trying to represent our citizens without the consent of an established political structure, Hastings said. Well, you go figure. Without the consent. I think that's what the main part of this is. Well, you know what? Here's somebody we haven't heard from in a long while. So love him tender. Blagojevich, still an Elvis fanatic, even though he's in prison. Former Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich gave up his life-sized Elvis Presley statue when he went to prison in 2012, but not his love for the king. Blagojevich's attorney says in court documents arguing for a reduction of his 14-year sentence that he has studied guitar and formed a band named after one of Elvis's biggest hits, Jailhouse Rock. Attorney Leonard Goodman says Blagojevich and another inmate have performed as the Jailhouse Rockers at times. Goodman also says Blagojevich has been anything but a hound dog while serving time for corruption convictions, tutoring inmates, studying for their GED, teaching history, and providing job interview counseling for soon-to-be-released inmates. Under his current sentence, Blagojevich cannot be released until early 2024 at the earliest. His resentencing hearing is scheduled for August the 9th. You know what? We haven't heard from him for a while. I doubt that we're going to hear from him for a longer while. Give it some thought. Well, fracking foes put fake feces under donkey art displays. Environmental activists have made an unconventional addition to some of the fiberglass donkeys positioned around Philadelphia ahead of the Democratic National Convention. Food and Water Watch says activists placed fake piles of feces below the behinds of 19 of the 57 donkeys around the city just today, symbolizing their stance that the Democratic Party's platform on fracking is crappy. Organizer Sam Bernhardt says citizens oppose the controversial drilling technique that uses high-pressure water and chemicals to extract oil and gas from deep underground rock. He says the Democratic Party could have called for a ban on the practice, but they failed. Now, don't go away, folks, because when we come back, we're going to do the IRS loses. And the first case up is a telephone hearing absolutely can be recorded. Sounds strange, but it's not. I'll tell you all about it.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful in visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
The story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Okay, here we are. My favorite part of the show, the IRS loses. You know, I keep saying this is my favorite part of the show, but very quickly now, for those of you that have been listening, we've been doing this segment called a tribute to the late, great Paul Harvey and the rest of the story. I just am loving that part of it, too. But right now, let's talk about the IRS loses. First off, telephone hearing can be recorded. Now, when Emery Seaman faced a levy for back taxes, he requested a collection due process hearing, and the IRS scheduled one to be held by phone. He then told the IRS that he intended to record the hearing, but the IRS responded that this wasn't allowed. When Seaman insisted, the IRS said that he had forfeited his right to the hearing. Seaman went to court. There's a conflict here. The tax code specifically allows taxpayers to record CDP hearings, but the IRS said that it does so only with in-person hearings. So he went to court. This is what the judge said. A phone call can be considered made in person, and there's no logic as to why face-to-face hearings can be recorded, but phone hearings not. So Seaman gets his hearing, and he gets to record it, and he gets to do it by phone. Well, here's a case the IRS conceded, and you've heard me say it many, many times. They only concede when they're pretty sure that they can't prevail in court against whoever it is that they're dealing with. In this case, it's an unexpected pregnancy and breakup gives tax break on a home sale. You know, this would be funny if it wasn't so sad. Anyway, an unmarried couple bought a home and moved into it. Now, 7 months later, the woman discovered that she was pregnant. The couple then broke up. They intend to sell the home because it's not big enough for 2 adults to live in separately with a child, and neither can actually afford it alone. So here's the IRS ruling. The primary cause of the home sale is at what they call an unforeseen circumstance, so each owner qualifies for tax-free gain on the sale. Now, the maximum amount of such gain equals the length of time that the owner owned the home and used it as a primary residence, divided by 2 years or 24 months, multiplied by $250,000, the maximum gain allowed on it. And if it had been owned for the full 2 years anyway. Now, here's the next case. The IRS loses, sent notice to the wrong address, even though it knew the right one. Here's the case. David Buffano filed a tax return from Wheaton, Illinois. He then moved to Milford, Illinois, and reported his move to the post office. When he didn't file later years' returns, an IRS office sent notices to the Milford address. When he didn't reply, another IRS office sent a final levy notice to the Wheaton address. Now, when Buffano didn't receive it until after the deadline for answering, he argued that it was invalid since it was misaddressed. The IRS says that the notice was properly sent to the address on his last filed tax return, but this is what the court said. That is the proper address only if the IRS doesn't have a later, better one in its files, which it did. So the notice absolutely was valid, and that's the way it ought to be. Now, you've heard me talk about being a fly on the wall when the IRS is doing stuff. That's where we're at right now with this segment we call Inside the IRS. A little bit like the Twilight Zone. Okay, so these are not tax court cases, but these are precedents that were set down and things that the IRS does that there have been recorded. And you can actually use these to help yourself when you're doing these kinds of things. So, basically that's kind of what you want to be thinking about when you're doing this. So, in this first case, it's filing your tax return even though you're under an audit. So here's the thing. It is generally not advisable to file an income tax return while you are in the middle of an audit. Now, the reason is really simple for this. The revenue agent can decide to extend the scope of the audit to include the most recent year filed and raise the issue of additional adjustments. So what do? You file an extension and hope that the examination is going to be completed before the extended due date of that return. If you run out of time, make sure that the tax return that you file is absolutely flawless, correct, and does not contain any aggressive deductions. Now, a plain vanilla tax return is unlikely to be examined. If you want to take an aggressive position, you can always consider filing an amended return after the examination is closed. You have 3 years that you can amend your return, so keep that in mind. Now, how about this one? How about taxing you on income not paid until after your death? Yeah. Well, the IRS is able to rely on a provision in the law known as income in respect to a decedent, which is IRD. Now, this permits the IRS to levy income tax separate and apart from the estate tax on money your estate or beneficiary receives after you die. Now, commissions and bonuses that a decedent had earned at the time of his or her death, but that were not paid until after death, are common examples of IRD. Now, such payments would be taxable to the estate or to the legatee of the estate to whom that they are actually paid. But there's a tax break here too. Federal estate tax paid that is attributable to IRD can be taken as an itemized income tax deduction by the beneficiary. So kind of keep that in mind as you move along. Now, do not go away. When we come back, we're going to be with our own Sean LaFave, who's on the road to Wichita, Kansas. We'll be talking to Sean right after these brief messages, so do not go away.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchase high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, coming to you from his personal meditation lounge in Orange County, California, a professional dedicated to conquering many chronic conditions from autism to weight loss and everything in between. The nationally recognized wellness coach, consultant, and lecturer, Sean Lefebvre, in his Geared for Wellness Corner.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. And my guess is my good buddy Sean's at some intersection someplace where he's in a Denny's or he's on the side of the road. Anyway, at 3:34 p.m. Pacific time, currently 86 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. That's down from 88 degrees on its way to 61 degrees. But you know what? More important than any of that is if you're listening to us on one of our globally syndicated networks and you're in New York City, well, it's 78 degrees and mostly cloudy. And if you're in Chicago, Illinois, 88 degrees and partly cloudy. So, getting a little bit better. I don't know what it is on the road for my good buddy Sean Lefebvre, but I'm sure he's about to tell us. Hey, Sean, you sitting out there?
I am, out there in here, yes. It is.
Are you in an outhouse in the middle of nowhere?
No, you're gonna kill me when I tell you where I am, though. Especially since it's just me and you on the show today. But it is 82 degrees and sunny here in Flagstaff, Arizona.
Flagstaff, Arizona.
Flagstaff, Arizona, and I happen to right now be sitting in the home. You're going to kill me. You're not going to be happy when I tell you what I'm going to tell you, especially since it's just me and you on the show. I'm in the Cerna house.
You're kidding me. Sharika's house?
Yeah, we just had lunch, but her and her husband had to go run out and go do something. So they had a plan already at this time today, so she couldn't join us on the show. I asked her if she could. She said she couldn't, but she said to tell you hello. But I'm doing the show from Sarika Cernahouse's house.
Well, how wonderful! Gee, what a nice thing for her to do for you too.
Oh yeah, she's the most wonderful, kind-hearted, just amazing person. So it doesn't surprise me that she offered. And I said, "Oh, you don't need to do that." And she said, "No, please take all your time." See what? I probably should be at least like in Albuquerque or something by now. But
so you know what? So you're gonna take your time. You'll have dinner with her, spend the night, and head out in the morning.
That may very well happen. I'm not sure. No, I got to get on the road. But I got here. I actually got to Flagstaff this morning, and so I stopped and went and had an espresso, and I walked around downtown area, which is just Flagstaff is maybe my favorite town in all of the United States. It's wonderful. I love it here. The people, the weather, the downtown area, just the scenery, all these pine trees and the mountains, and it's just gorgeous. And so then when I came over, and Sarita she said, well, come on over, and she made me some oatmeal with, oh my gosh, had cinnamon and maple butter, and oh gosh, it was so good. And then I went, and she has these really nice little comfy little outdoor case lounges on her deck, and so I went out and took a nap outside, and then we went to the country club, and we had lunch out there overlooking the golf course and all the pine trees and everything, and just beautiful. And I'm going, you know what? I'm not sure why I even thought I was going to drive anywhere today.
Well, you know what? And you sound not weary but happy. So did you
Okay.
actually leave? Did you actually leave town this morning?
No, I actually left yesterday. I spent the night somewhere near I was actually in Arizona, but somewhere near the California-Arizona state line.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you got into Flagstaff early, had breakfast. There, stayed for lunch with Serena, and then Sarika, and then you're gonna take off before she gets home, right?
Yeah. So after the show, I'm gonna hit the road and start driving east. But yeah, it's just been a wonderful day. I started late. I just ended up getting a bunch of phone calls come in, and I was trying to leave yesterday, and I had to take care of all this business, and I got on the road at like 6 o'clock or something like that, 5:30 or 6 or something, which is the worst possible time to try to go. Literally leaving Orange County, going through Riverside, the traffic's like that at the time. It's just, yeah. So that added probably another hour and a half of my drive time, just getting, away from the Orange County area. But, oh well, such is life. So I got a late start yesterday, and then I drove probably 3.5 hours today. I'm not making good time. Thank God I don't have a real set schedule where I got to be somewhere, like by a certain time. So
well, you know what?
I'm having fun.
Yeah, that's the thing. Take your time, relax, enjoy everything around you, because when you get to Wichita, you get there.
Yep. And when I get there, I'm going to be there for a few months. So I got a lot of work to do. I just spoke with the doctor this morning, and she's just throwing her hands up. She's like, I can't wait till you're here, because she's having employee issues and just all kinds of stuff. And so I'm kind of excited.
So, Sean, how long has she been in practice? I mean, is she a new practitioner?
No, she's actually well established. She's had that practice for, I want to say 8 or 9 years, maybe close to about 8 or 9 years.
So what all of a sudden caused all these issues?
Just how life just piles up. There's little personal issues and and some health issues, which is funny, because that was one of the things that she approached me at a seminar. I hadn't seen her for like 6 years, and I never thought I would ever even talk to this woman again. I mean, she's a wonderful person, but it was just kind of the way we met, and I tried to actually work with her years ago, but it was just kind of the situation which it didn't lend itself for it. And it's whole other story, another radio show, but more like a oh gosh, I can't think of his name that does the crazy wild stuff. Anyway, but she approached me a couple of months ago at a seminar in Atlanta, and I had no idea she was there. And she said, "Sean," and she's so funny. She says, "Do I look familiar to you?" I said, "Yes, but I don't know why." And
that could be a scary thought,
Yeah, that is kind of yeah. Your mind starts racing. When I want to walk up, she says, "Do I look familiar to you?" And you're like, "God, yes," but
did we have clothes on the last time we met?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You look familiar, but the clothes are throwing everything off.
Yeah, did I do anything I should be sorry for?
Yeah. Am I supposed to be apologizing right now? Because I really am not certain. But no, she said, "It's me, Robin." And I said, "Oh, wow, great to see you." And she said, "Can we talk? I could, I would love to talk to you." And she basically kind of opened up. She said, "Look, here's what's going on. Her husband, she's had a practice in Wichita. That's where they live. But her husband accepted a job in Kansas City, And so she didn't get to see him very often, and it's put a strain on their relationship, like all these different things, and she was like, I want to be able to spend more time with my husband. And right now I don't know how to make that happen with this practice. And he's got his job in Kansas City. We get weekends together, but it's just not enough. And she was like, I'm having some health issues. She goes, I'm really stressed. And she was like, got all this nutrition that I don't know what to do with it. And she goes, can you help me with that? And I said, of course I can. And then that just kind of kept, things kept rolling and rolling. And she was telling me what's going on with her practice. And she actually has 2 doctors that are working there. And she basically gave both of them notice that she's letting them go. And she wants to completely restructure the business. And what she's done, a lot of practitioners, a lot of doctors they're really good at being doctors, but they suck at business.
Oh yeah, it's interesting that you would say that, because I've had a lot of professionals over the years come into my office, and the one thing I found is that what you're saying is true. They were really, really good at what they did, but they were horrible at running businesses.
Yeah, and it was the same thing with the practice that I had in Wichita. Having a non-physician run the business side of it makes a world of difference, to be able to free yourself up to just be a doctor.
Yeah.
And so she really just kind of wants to restructure the business. She wants to get it to where, and she's done what not every, but the vast majority of doctors, whether it's a medical doctor, chiropractor, dentist, whatever, and what the most of them do is she's made the office dependent on herself. And,
what? And everybody does that. They build the business around themselves, so they can't go anywhere or do anything. And the first thing they should have done was to hire some kind of an office administrator to take that weight off of them.
Exactly. And that's what I'm going to go in and do is I'm going to implement the nutrition and cellular detox program for her, because she wants to do it, but she doesn't know how. And that's something that I know how to do, and I've done successfully. And so she wants me to do that in her office. And then I told her, I said, just take a lot of this responsibility that you have for the practice. I said, give it to me. I said, you know what? I said, drop your schedule down to 4 days a week and go spend 3 days with your husband.
Yeah.
And I'll be there on the 5th day, and I'll just work with people they can come in if they got nutrition questions on day 5.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get to the point where you're only working 3 days a week.
And just schedule it that way.
Yeah. Yeah, just don't give people the option. Friday is no longer an option, or whatever day you want to take off.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna restructure her business to where she needs a vacation. I mean, this woman needs a vacation like nobody else. I mean, it's been a long time since I've worked with someone who's so stressed.
Yeah.
And she's such a wonderful person. I mean, she's just, just a beautiful soul. I mean, she's so sweet and kind, and as most people in the healing arts, that get into the business to be a doctor, a physician of some type, is she gives of herself to everyone else and doesn't take anything back. She needs me time. She needs some of her own.
You're probably just exactly what the doctor ordered.
It is exactly what the doctor ordered.
So I think
speaking of what the doctor ordered, I found this picture of a prescription from a pediatrician back in 1962, and it was so funny. It was a handwritten prescription, and it said 1 teaspoon of whiskey, 1 teaspoon of lemon juice, and 1 tablespoon of honey. Mix and take 1 teaspoon every hour until the kid feels better. And
that sounds like something you and I ought to be doing.
Yeah, this is a cough remedy. And I'm thinking all of a sudden I started. I think I need some medicine all of a sudden, but it's so funny to think, that was something, and of course I did like everybody else, I posted it on Facebook and Instagram, and I have people go, yeah, I remember, when my grandpa used to make that for us, or I remember having that as a kid,
My parents did that. They did that. My grandparents told my parents, and my parents did that to me. Yeah. You would probably get your children taken away nowadays if you gave them that as a medicine. Oh yeah. Not only would they take your kids away, they'd throw you in jail for practicing medicine without a license.
Yeah, no kidding. Right? Yeah.
Hey, I was just interested. You're going to take this nice long drive. How long is it going to take you to get to Wichita, by the way?
I think from where I am, I think it's. I'm going to have to do it in obviously 2 days. It's even, I could maybe make it in 1 day, but I think I've got about another 16 hours of driving time left to go.
So how do you spend, I mean, I know how you spend your time. You spend it behind the wheel driving, but do you listen to the radio? Do you have satellite radio? Do you listen to tapes? Do you listen to books on tape? What do you do while you're in the car that long?
Yeah, I've got actually some Tony Robbins CDs that I started listening to on the drive. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to get my mind focused. It's one of the things that's really easy to do when you're driving, especially when you can't find a good radio station. I guess I could do Pandora, and I don't have satellite radio. But your mind starts wandering, and it's easy to dwell on things that you really shouldn't dwell on. So I like these. I love audiobooks. So I've got they're basically, it's an audiobook. It's a Tony Robbins audiobook. But what I found while I was going through my stuff, and I'm trying to think, okay, what do I want to bring with me? From California to Wichita, I'm going to be there for like 3 months or so. What do I want to bring? And what I found was a CD set of basically wealth and personal growth building strategies and stuff. Yeah. It's from Trump University.
Oh, you're kidding! Honestly.
Yeah, I totally forgot. I bought that years ago, and I totally forgot that I even had it. And I was going through my stuff because I've had my stuff boxed up. I've moved so much lately, in the last few years.
Sure.
All of a sudden, I went, "Oh my gosh, I have this Trump University stuff. I'm gonna." So when people say, "Oh, you're on the Trump bandwagon," it's like, no, I've been a Trump fan for years.
Well, here's the thing. When you're talking about those things, they were all developed. Trump didn't actually develop those things. They were all developed and brought forward. In all the concepts that are there, there's really not any really new concepts out there.
No.
The concepts have been around for a long, long time, and so they're going to be valid. It's just going to remind you of things that you just forgotten about.
Yeah, it's basically like, an updated version of Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill is basically what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's really not much different. Or what's that, The Road Less Traveled by, I can't think of his name, who wrote that book. But there's a ton of books out there. There's a ton of, different personal growth and wealth building and business building books. And that Trump University stuff, it's exactly what it is. He probably... Like you said, he didn't come up with these concepts. No. He probably hired, each guy. Okay, who's the best guy at teaching people how to build wealth? Who's the best one at teaching people personal growth? And he probably had them all develop these CDs. So
I think you ought to get that book on tape that Al Capone wrote. How to get everything you want with a good word and a gun.
Exactly. Just make sure you do your taxes right.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that's terrific. Because I was thinking about this yesterday, and I thought, well, gee whiz, I wonder how he's spending all of this time in the car. Is he listening to books on tape? Is he listening to motivational speakers? Is he listening to satellite music? What is he really doing?
I do a little bit of everything. I listen to these audio CDs, and I listen to there's a good station on. I'll listen to some radio, but every now and then I might even throw on Pandora, and that way I know I'm going to get the kind of music that I want to listen to. And sometimes I'll just have it quiet in the car, and I'll just let my mind kind of go where it needs to go. And if I think it's going in a direction it shouldn't go, then I'll put something on the speakers. But,
something I used to do when I was in a car, whenever I'd be in a car, is that I would think about these projects that I had to accomplish, right? And just like you have with this doctor, and I start laying out an outline in my mind about how I was going to progress. And by the time I got home that night, I could just put a brief outline out on paper and be just way ahead of the game because I had been thinking about it. I used to get some of my best ideas first thing in the morning, or even during the night. I'd wake up with something and I had to write it down real quick because I've got what I refer to as a democratic memory. That's a mind like a jackass, right? And so I don't remember anything, especially since that my accident, my short term memory is really gone. So if I don't write it down right now, I'm going to forget it. And that worked out really well for me to be able to think in advance and develop not only an outline but a timeline. And I think that's probably something, if you're going to be taking over the administrative duties of that practice and building a whole new part of the practice for her, I think that what a great opportunity for you to be thinking that out before you get there.
Yeah, and that definitely is part of what I do when I have the radio off and I'm just driving. I'll I'll run those things through my mind. I'm like, okay, like especially after this morning, the little talk we had, she's got a gal that works at the office that's just, unreliable. She goes, when she's there, she's a great worker, but she'll call 5 minutes before work starts. She goes, I'm not feeling well. I'm not going to make it today. Or she'll go, or like this morning, she overslept. Like you can tell when, even though someone may be a good worker, if they're not fully engaged, it's time to get rid of that person.
Oh, sure.
You've got to have someone. Yeah, especially when it's something like when it comes to the world of natural health care, it's almost like you're on a mission, because you're constantly fighting the barrage of advertisements from drug companies and GNC and all these other places that are trying to vie for everyone's attention and get them to spend their money on their healthcare products.
Yeah. When
your stuff is 10 times better, but you don't have the marketing department, and so
and you know what? And what
if your team's not part of that mission, if they're not fully engaged, it's hard to make any progress.
Now, and I don't know that she's giving you this authority or not, but wouldn't it be great if she did, and you were able to make these hire fire decisions and get fresh staff in there that's going to really perform for her? It's the hardest thing to do when you've built a relationship with somebody, to recognize that they're not really performing, but not have the heart to let them go.
Yeah, exactly. And I know with this particular doctor, she's at a point where she doesn't care. She's like, I'm going to let her go. She needs to take care of herself, and part of taking care of herself is making this practice work.
Yeah.
And so she doesn't have a problem doing that. But actually, she has told me, she goes, I want you to be responsible for bringing in new hires and everything, which is good, because that's something that I'm actually pretty good at. And it's funny, we had. It's easy to write people off, to go, maybe this isn't a good fit, and move on. And I'm sure I do the same thing. But we had this gal come in for an interview, and it was, for whatever reason, we actually, it was 3 of us that worked at the office were sitting down, just kind of chatting with her, really. I mean, it was an interview, but it was more like we just wanted to kind of talk and get to know her. And she just wasn't, I look for passion in a person. I want someone who's got passion for life. And she wasn't coming across with this passion. And I could tell, the doctor and the other gal that was, sitting with me talking to this young lady, you could tell that they were not impressed. And I'm looking at her and I'm going, there's something there, though. I can see it. And I'm trying to figure out what it is, and I said, well, what do you do? What other things do you do? I said, what do you do as a hobby? I just wanted to get a spark of something from her. Mm-hmm. And she said, well, my boyfriend and I, we just started getting into real estate, flipping houses, and she started talking about it. She started getting excited, and I could see the passion come out. I'm like, okay, this girl has a spark for her. She's got passion. I can see it. And so when she talks about something she loves, she lights up like a Roman candle, and it's awesome.
Right.
And so my thought was, can we translate that into what we do in our office? And by asking the right questions, I came to the conclusion that I think that we can get her fully engaged. And she turned, and even at the beginning of even I was like, I don't know if she's going to work out. She just doesn't seem to really have as much spark of life in her, Mm-hmm. She turned out to be the best employee you could ask for. She told everybody, she brought in new patients. She was on fire. She was the life of the office. I mean, she, always had a smile on, always bouncing around, full of energy. And it was neat, but when you get a person like that who has that kind of passion, man, it's all the knowledge in the world,
and not only that,
is not going to replace it.
That's right. But not only that, that person who has that passion and that excitement exhilarates the entire environment around them.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Hey, listen, we just got an Associated Press alert. I want to let people know about it. There were 3 people arrested for stealing guns in a credible threat to harm police officers in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. That just came through.
Oh wow.
Yeah, you know what? It's going to be copycat crap, right?
Yep.
Anyway, I just wanted to get that out. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No. That's good. And that's something we, next week not next week, but Thursday when we talk, I got an article that I want to read first. I haven't had a chance to sit down and fully read it, but So this is what you always ask, what are we going to talk about next Thursday? We'll actually have a solid answer for you this time, and it's really neat. It's a study that they did on the connection between violence and lead exposure, toxicity, specifically lead exposure, and its effect on violence and low IQ and unwed pregnancy. And I thought, how interesting is that?
Wow.
Like the violence I get, the low IQ I got, but the unwed pregnancy was the part that threw me off. But it basically goes down to when you're so toxic with lead that you make poor choices.
Well, that's going to be that's going to be interesting. Hey, listen, we've got to go on a slight break. When we come back, I don't remember if I sent this to you or not, but there was a study of a promising cancer treatment that has been allowed to resume, and I want to just pick your brains about it a little bit when we come back. Would that be okay?
Yeah.
All right,
great.
We'll be right back with our own Sean LaFave in the Geared for Wellness Corner from Flagstaff, Arizona, on his way to Wichita, Kansas. Don't go away. We'll be right back. We've got a lot of great show for you.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. It's currently 89 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire. While it had gone up to 93, and it's on the way down to 61 in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. If you're listening to us on our syndicated broad network and you're in Paris, France, well, it's 55 degrees. There's a light rain going on. And in Rome, Italy, 77 degrees, and it is clear. But I'll tell you something that's always clear, and that is the mind of my good buddy Sean Lefebvre. Sean's with us. He obviously choked on that. He didn't believe it, and he's in Flagstaff, Arizona, on his way to Wichita, Kansas. And so we've got a lot of things that we want to be talking about. So Sean, before we had gone on our break, I told you about this study of a promising cancer treatment that was allowed to resume, which means that obviously it was stopped at one time. It says a study of an experimental treatment for leukemia that was halted last week following 2 patients' deaths has been allowed to resume after a modification. The Food and Drug Administration suspended Juno Therapeutics' trial after the company reported that 2 patients died from swelling of the brain. Now, Juno said that the problem stemmed not from its treatment, but from a chemotherapy drug used as a pre-treatment step. The FDA will allow the trial to resume without the chemotherapy drug. Now, Juno's treatment is a promising but still unproven approach that re-engineers patients' immune systems to attack cancer. Now, white blood cells are removed from the patient and altered so that they can target cancer cells when returned to the body. Juno shares were up 27% in trading after the market closed on Tuesday. So the reason I bring it up is you and I have talked about this before, not this specific thing. The fact that they could regenerate cells to go after these other cells and how the body actually does that on their own. And it sounds like they're giving it some help. But the other thing you and I talked about was how these people go and get all this chemotherapy and all this stuff, things that the body already does. And here's a case that supports your position that chemotherapy does more damage than good.
Yeah, it's not a surprise. I mean, to get encephalitis from chemotherapy, chemotherapy is just really hard on the cells, and, why these people got specifically, who's falling on the brain, I don't know. But, that's not one of them. You sent me a bunch of articles, but that's not one of them. But, chemotherapy is just so damaging, and we're finding more and more that it's actually creating new cancers. People are dying from the chemo. People have been giving chemo and they didn't even have cancer, or they thought maybe they had cancer, but it turns out that it was so early stage, it's something the body could have taken care of. So they're finding out more and more that that cancer in this country is being way overdiagnosed, way overtreated. And of course, it's. Oh, I'm sorry.
Let me interrupt you. When you say way overdiagnosed, are you saying misdiagnosed?
Yeah, misdiagnosed. And so what they're and then I can't remember the article. It was in. I can't remember if it was in the Journal of American Medical Association or if it was in the New England Journal of Medicine. Which one I can't remember, but. It was something like overdiagnosis of cancer, and the subtitle was something like an opportunity for improvement or something like that. Basically, the article was saying, "Look, we've been screwing us up, and so we've got an opportunity here to do the right thing and to make some improvements." And this is written by medical doctors. It's not, written by someone like me or someone in, a chiropractor or whatever, in the natural healthcare field. It's MDs that are writing this stuff. What they're saying is. What they're finding is people are being diagnosed with cancer, and maybe even, yes, this person has a very early stage cancer, but if we just left it alone, the body would take care of itself. People get cancer all the time, and they never know about it because the body naturally is designed to fight it off. Our body that's what our immune system does. When you say somebody's got stage 3, stage 4 cancer, what you're really saying is the immune system is overwhelmed and is no longer able to keep up the fight at this point. And so the cancer is able to grow and spread. And so
would you agree that at that point they need some help?
Well, at that point, they need some help there. I believe there are methods, that are better than chemotherapy. Mm-hmm. I've known personally people who have beat stage 4 cancer without chemo or radiation. They've done it through diet. Some people have done it using cannabis oil. Cannabis oil has been, it's you talk to anybody in the natural healthcare world who deals with it at all, they'll tell you, if I got cancer, I would go straight for the cannabis oil, because it's been shown time and time again to kill cancer. And so, there are ways to treat even stage 4 cancer.
Okay, let me interrupt. I want to interrupt you again, because now you're telling me something I hadn't heard before. I have heard that people use cannabis to get rid of the nausea and stuff like that from cancer drugs and the treatments and things like that, but I had not heard that the utilization of cannabis actually combated cancer cells.
Yeah, that's what they're finding more and more all the time, is that the cannabis itself actually helps fight off the cancerous growth. And it's pretty neat when you say, we had a gal that was a patient in our office, and she had a cancerous tumor. She showed me the pictures. She went to, I can't remember where it was she went to, but it was somewhere here in the United States. And they have this, I can't think of what it's called right offhand, but it's like an herbal remedy that it's real sticky, like a black tar. It's really, I've seen it before. And they put it on over where the cancer tumor is, and it literally pulls the tumor out of the skin.
Oh my God!
I mean, you could see it creates this huge opening, and this huge tumor. It looked like a large, kind of like a pit, like inside of a peach or something, or a plum looks like. It looked like one of those, but about 4 or 5 times the size. And it pulled it. And the funny thing is, when you look at it, you're thinking, oh my gosh, she's going to have this massive scar, because it's just this huge gaping wound pulling this tumor out. The body literally just pushes it right out. But she actually had a very tiny scar. It was almost not even noticeable. It was unbelievable. So there's all these different remedies, and of course you and I have had this discussion before. Remember when this was a couple of years ago? I think we talked about how I said, maybe cancer is not necessarily the enemy that we think it is.
Yes.
Maybe cancer is there because it's trying to clean up the mess that we've created in our bodies. Cancer feeds off of an acidic environment. Our body does not do well off of an acidic environment. Cancer does. Cancer feeds off of sugar, and sugar for us is pro-inflammatory, and so when you get a high sugar content in your body and a high acidity content in your body, you're just creating breeding grounds for cancer. I mean, theoretically, it could be that the cancer is growing because it's trying to get rid of the stuff that's going to actually do more damage to you. Granted, the cancer is going to kill you, but the inflammation from the acidity, all the when someone's
would it be reasonable to say that you were eating something that was detrimental to your body, and the cancer was really the body's way of trying to get rid of that, and then it just got uncontrollable?
Yeah, exactly. And the problem is, if you would stop eating, let's say you're eating these foods that the body says, okay, I need to let the cancer go take care of it. Well, the problem is people just keep eating that. It's not like you did it once, the cancer came in and took care of it, and then the cancer went away. Our immune system beat the cancer back down, and we're good now. It's that we're still eating, all these highly refined foods that, you may not be eating sugar, but if you're eating bread, or you're eating a lot of pastas, or you're eating things that even like white potatoes, things that are going to convert into sugar quickly. It's really the same thing. Matter of fact, bread, like white bread, or even the stuff that they call wheat bread, like they make toast in the morning with wheat bread. It's not whole grain wheat. It's not like, a fermented or a sprouted grain or something. It's still been stripped of all its nutrients. That stuff turns into sugar in your body faster than table sugar does, or it converts more rapidly than table sugar does a slice of bread, because the actual the food particle, has so much more of a surface area that your body's able to just rip it down into glucose much quicker. So yeah, it's, cancer is not necessarily this evil thing. Granted, you don't want it living in your body on a continuous basis because it will kill you. Yeah. But it should be a sign for you that you need to make changes. And those changes may be dietary. You may need to, detox the body, get things out of the body that are in there, go to a cleaner environment. There have been people with all kinds of cancers that have survived everything, stage 4, even, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. People have recovered from that. So anything is survivable. It's just a matter of, are you willing to do what it takes to get the body's environment back to where cancer can no longer survive? Yeah. It's not a matter of, because the chemo, it's going to kill the cancer, but it ends up killing the patient in the meantime. It destroys your body. Like you talked about, they use cannabis to help prevent, the nausea. Mm-hmm. Well, the nausea isn't caused by the cancer; it's caused by the treatment. The hair loss is caused by the treatment. All these the frailness. When you see a person who's got cancer and they're real skinny and emaciated and they look horrible, it's because of the treatment that's doing it. So not people who die of cancer who never get treated, you don't even know they have cancer until like the very end. But yeah, so it's I think it's great that they said, okay, let's continue this study. Let's see if we can find out about regenerating these cell tissues, but get rid of the chemo. I think it's fantastic that they're approaching it with a non-chemo approach. I think that's great. We need to come up with something better than chemotherapy and radiation. I mean, that's just such a horrible way to treat somebody. I mean, it's like using a nuclear bomb to clean up the city. Yeah, sure, there's no more trash in the streets, but there's also no more city left. Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, that's fascinating.
Yeah. I mean, that whole subject is fascinating. And, when you start thinking about, all the things that we have been brainwashed to believe has really not been accurate. You put all your trust into a physician, because especially when you think you're getting this death sentence, and you'll do anything that they say if it means that they convince you that this is your only chance to survive, and yet they're giving you I'm watching my words here, they're giving you less than accurate information. What they're telling you is, if you continue the way you're going, you're going to die. But what you need to do is to do something different that caused this thing to start in the first place. And then we're getting right back, Sean, to that same subject that you and I seem to consistently get to, and that is
money.
Well, it's money, and doctors treat symptoms, not the problem.
That's true. Yeah, treating your symptoms, right? And that's exactly what it is. They're treating the symptom. They're attacking the cancer, and it's you don't have to attack the cancer. What you need to do is make sure that the rest of the body will take care of the cancer on its own. You just got to support the body's natural functions, and as much as we Americans don't want to admit it, the things that we eat are not what our great grandparents ate. There was, in fact, I've got this quote from this cardiologist, where he talks about how when he started cardiology back in 1932 or something like that, he didn't see his first myocardial infarct patient, his first heart attack. Again, was a cardiologist. He didn't see his first heart attack patient for 3 years into his career. And he said that was back when the primary fats were lard and butter. And he goes, it was long before we heard about things like vegetable oil. And he goes, maybe we need to go back to that. There's something to be said for the human race having survived and grown to the numbers that it's grown to off of, low-tech food, stuff that we grow in the garden, animals that we have to run down and kill and eat and whatever the case might be. We had to actually earn our food. We didn't just go get it from a drive-through and pay 99 cents for a hamburger. And so you can't keep living. No, there's never been a culture that's lived off of the dietary lifestyle that most Americans eat nowadays. And so we wonder why we're getting sicker and fatter and having more problems and on and on. Well, it's that we're not giving our bodies the tools needed to do those things. And you wouldn't need chemo and radiation. Is it possible? Sure, someone can still get cancer, I suppose. But when you're eating, it happens, but there's other factors. There's environmental factors.
Well, let me propose this to you for a second. Let's just say that, and I'm not picking on any particular kind of cancer because I don't know one from another. Okay, but let's just use this leukemia thing as an example. And somebody develops leukemia, and they were to use a holistic approach to try and solve that problem, as opposed to using chemo and bone marrow transplants and that kind of stuff. The truth is you could try that. You ought to be able to see some kind of advancement in your health. Either you're either going to get sicker or you're going to start getting better, but you want to be able to see some kind of a result in time to choose an alternative modality, right?
Yeah, you would think so. Yeah, absolutely. And leukemia is, I don't know what the.
I don't know a lot. I don't know a lot about.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I don't even know. I couldn't tell you most cancers.
Yeah.
Once you've been diagnosed with stage 2, 3, or 4, what your life expectancy is at that point.
Yeah.
There are people who get cancer and they live for years. And then ones that get cancer, they say, "Well, you got 6 months to a year," and then they're dead. Next month. It happens. It's I don't know that the variables are so off. They're everywhere. But leukemia is this so you got this cancer of the blood. Well, the question I guess to be asked would be why specifically did you come down with that specific type of cancer? I don't know if it's a genetic thing, if it's a lifestyle thing, but if someone said, look, you've got a year, I would go, okay, I'm going to spend the first 3 months changing everything about the way I eat.
Yeah,
I'm gonna eat pure. I'm going to juice vegetables. I'm going to eat organic butter, and I'm going to cut out things like processed dairy and all processed foods, and I'm going to cut out all grains. I'm going to go back to eating what they would call this paleo diet, or I would go into personally the ketogenic. We've talked about the ketogenic diet before, and that's really been shown to be super effective on cancer. And the reason why it's super effective on cancer is because it cuts out all sugar. You can't have very many carbohydrates and get into a ketogenic state. So your body's burning fat for energy, and one of the cool things about burning fat for energy is you have very little waste products. Fat burns very clean when as an energy source. Sugar burns very dirty. It leaves a lot of byproduct waste products left over. Matter of fact, we talked about that lactic acidosis that we talked about I don't know, a couple of weeks ago or something like that. And so if I said someone said, hey, you have leukemia, I go, okay, let's get rid of the sugar.
So if you encourage ketosis, that's a good thing?
Yeah, ketosis is a fantastic thing, especially for people who have cancer, because you're starving the cancer cells to death.
Now, isn't that the basis of the Atkins diet, that low carb diet? Isn't that why you lose the weight, because you're eliminating all the carbs?
Yeah, in the beginning, yeah, and then you slowly add them in, and that's exactly what it is you go into ketosis. That was the first stage of Atkins, and I've never really been a huge fan of Atkins. There's a lot of things, and I think that's why people do so well on Atkins in the beginning, especially, is because they remove all the grains and all the sugars. Well, you remove grains and sugars from anyone's diet, they're going to immediately start to feel better. It works really well that way.
Yeah.
And like I said, you're not burning sugar, which means you're not burning waste product, or you're not producing all these waste products, which means your blood, which when we're talking about leukemia, the blood is just a transport agent. It takes waste products and takes them to the liver, Yeah. And so now your blood doesn't have to carry all these waste products around. So yeah, if someone said I have leukemia, I go ketogenic, man.
Hey, listen, hold that thought. And by the way, did you say it was in the 80s in Flagstaff?
Yeah, it was 82.
Wow, I can't hardly believe that. Anyway, my friend, we have to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to continue this conversation with my good buddy Sean LaFave, who is in Flagstaff, Arizona, and he's going to lower his flag to half staff as he leaves for Wichita, Kansas, right after the show. So we'll be right back with Sean LaFave and his Geared for Wellness Corner right after these brief messages.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful in visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're talking to my good buddy Sean LaFave in his Geared for Wellness Corner. Sean, when we left for our commercial break, we were talking about the effects of diet on cancer. You know, we've talked about this many, many times before, and I never find it any less interesting each time we talk about it. It just is absolutely fascinating to me what the body does with a proper diet.
It's the body is fast. Every time I learn something new, I just go, the human body is just incredible what it's capable of doing. You know, the regenerative properties, you know, of being able to build new bones and you know, obviously you can't cut a leg off, but you can have, I mean, if you break your bone, it then mends itself, you know, it puts those 2 pieces back together. I mean, even that is like, oh, what a process, you know, how cool is that? Yeah. You know, and I mean, just everything, the more and more that I learn about the human body and how it has these sort of defensive mechanisms to protect itself, but some of those defensive mechanisms will lead to, you know, even pain, you know, and suffering and a loss of function and things. But the body is going to do whatever it can to keep itself alive as long as possible. And I believe that cancer is one of those things, that it allows cancer to go in and eat up things that are going to cause chronic inflammation, like sugar. We've got, when you have degeneration between your spine, you get the vertebrae in your spine, and when those two vertebrae start to get close together because you've lost disc space, the body starts producing bone spurs around the base of those vertebrae, the top and bottom. And as soon as they touch, they start blending themselves together. They start fusing themselves together. And so you'll have a spine that's been fused through the process of degeneration, which is a horrible thing to have happen because now you've lost mobility. Mm-hmm. You can't move your neck as much. And it does affect neurological function because it tightens up the opening in the middle of the vertebra where the spine goes through. But what it prevents happening is a complete collapse and that spine actually falling apart to where now you're dead, Yeah. So it does these little things to keep you alive, and everything from, inflammation. Inflammation it hurts. You sprain your ankle or you burn yourself or whatever it is you do, and all of a sudden you've got this inflammatory response. Well, the body's doing it to protect itself. Even, cellular inflammation, goes on. The body, again, is trying to protect itself. I had a gal that's, she had a fatty tumor, if you will, in her abdomen. It wasn't attached to anything, but she had this fatty tumor in her abdomen. And I said, you're like
Sean, if it was a gal and she had a skinny tumor instead of a fatty tumor, she probably wouldn't have complained.
No, exactly. Yeah, I would have been totally fine with it. She probably wouldn't have complained either. But this is a person who was healthy. And I said, your body is protecting you from something. I bet you there's something in that tumor, in that fatty tumor, that your body is protecting itself from. It could be some sort of a toxin. It could be something that maybe is, got into your system. Maybe a piece of something, I don't know, broke off from, whatever, I don't know. It could be a million things. But that's what a pearl is. A pearl is a calcification around a piece of a foreign object, a sand, in this case, a piece of sand, to protect the oyster from that foreign object. It can deal with this calcified pearl, but it can't deal with the constant irritation of the grain of sand inside it. So it produces something to protect itself. And the human body does the same thing through tumors, through inflammation, through all kinds of different processes. We have something going on. So anytime there's a chronic something going on, whether it's chronic inflammation, a tumor that just won't go away, cancer, a chronic cough. This is a funny story. Always the thing of us I was going to follow with that was always figure there's got to be a reason why this particular condition hasn't gone away. Mm-hmm. I had a doctor that has an office in Florida. This is a funny story. He had this guy come in and he said, he goes, my buddy sent me here. And he said, my nose, I have a runny nose. And he goes, my nose, I tried everything. He goes, I tried over the counter, I've tried prescription drugs. He goes, nothing works. He goes, my nose is runny all the time. And he goes, my buddy said that you can fix it. And he said, well, yeah, sure. With the, proper adjustment and alignment of the spine, neurological function. And he went through the whole explanation of how, the neurological function is going to affect everything, even allergies, which is what he was associating it with. And that's where your runny nose is coming from. And so he said, sure, we can fix that. And so he goes, the guy became a patient. He came in, on a frequent basis. And he goes, he'd been a patient for a little over a month. And he goes, I asked him, how's your nose doing? Just regretted ever asking him that question. Because he goes, Doc, I want to be honest with you. He goes, it's actually running more now than it was before I came in. He goes, but I understand your concept of what you're saying. He goes, so I'm going to keep trying this. And he said, well, sometimes that happens. Things get worse before they get better. And he goes, for a year. He goes, this guy kept coming back to my office for a year. And he goes, from the day I asked him how his nose was, every single time he came in, Doc, my nose is still running. It's still worse than before I came to see you. And he goes, I'm wondering why the guy's even coming back. Yeah. He goes, I must have obviously done a great job educating him on the neurological system and how this needs to get fixed. He goes, but most people, when they don't see results after a few months, they're gone. And he said, about a year after becoming a patient, he walks into my office, hands me a piece of paper. He says, you got to read this. And It was a letter from an attorney that was written on behalf of some people who worked at a factory where this guy used to be employed, and the factory was loaded with asbestos. And they said that the majority of the people who worked there had come down with mesothelioma, and most of them were dead. And they said the ones that were still surviving, the ones that were still alive and were not inflicted with mesothelioma, every single one of them had a runny nose.
Wow.
That was their biggest complaint, was that their nose just ran all the time. And he goes, Doc, I get it. He goes, this stuff is in my lungs, and my body's trying to get rid of it. And the only way it knows how to do it is to just go through the nose and create this mucus and push the mucus up to the nose and have the nose run out, let it drip out my nose. And he goes, keep adjusting me. And he goes, so to him, he realized, yeah, my nose is runny. My nose, after being treated naturally, my nose is running even more, because now my body's actually more efficient at getting rid of the asbestos that's in my lungs. Yeah. And but I don't know, how crazy is that? So sometimes we get these symptoms and we want to suppress them. We want to take a drug and that's what drugs do.
Yeah.
Is they stop the body from functioning the way it should. We might take something that's going to stop our nose from running.
So by treating the symptom, you harm the patient in that case.
Yeah. In this case, stopping that mucus buildup, taking something that's an anti-mucal, I don't know if it's the word they would need, but something that stops the mucus from forming, is going to stop the body's ability from getting rid of the asbestos in the body. And so now you're actually helping out the production or the formation of mesothelioma. Yeah, and so even things like I always say, if the pain is unbearable, there's a maybe in the beginning it's okay to take some sort of anti-inflammatory, but when you're taking chronic anti-inflammatories, that inflammation is there for a reason, and you got to figure out what's causing that inflammation and not keep beating the inflammation down. Because inflammation is trying to help you. It's trying to do something. And so, taking an anti-inflammatory, the one that really kills me is when their kids get a fever. Oh, we got to give them Tylenol. Which, oh my God, Tylenol is just horrible for children. People literally die from liver failure because of taking Tylenol. And,
so the first thing that the body does is it's sort of like it calls out the military and says, "Hey, whoa, you've done something that's bad. Let me fix this." And in the minute it tries to fix it, whether it be with fever to kill germs or bacteria or whatever it might be, the minute the body does something, hey, I'm going to do something to fix this, then you take something to stop the fix.
Right, exactly. That's exactly it. And that's what most people do. It's kind of what we're taught to do,
Yeah.
I remember watching a commercial. I wasn't even really big into the healthcare world. I was in it, but I wasn't all totally immersed and just ate up and obnoxious about it, like a lot of my friends think I am. But I was watching this commercial. This was years and years ago, and it was for Rolaids. I think it was Rolaids. It was some antacid anyway. Doesn't matter which one. And so, the question was, when is your antacid the worst? And the first guy comes on and goes, after my third cup of coffee, And then the other guy was like, well, after I eat a large pepperoni pizza, blah, blah, blah. And someone else, a woman, I can't remember her deal, but, there was a third one. And all of them were basically after I've done something excessive to my body, I get indigestion. And so I'll just take an antacid to fix it. My thought is, what, if 3 cups of coffee give you indigestion, maybe you should just stop at 2 cups. I don't know why that's not the first thought that goes through people's minds.
That's just too logical, Mr. Spock.
Yeah, exactly. It's way too logical. But we're brainwashed, through things as simple as a commercial that's saying, hey, I got acid indigestion. Don't stop. Eat the full pizza. Have 3 cups of coffee, and then take an antacid to fix it. And I used to be a powerlifter, and my workout partner was a chiropractor, and I'm like, oh, I want to try something. I went over, and I can't remember how much weight was on the bar. I just wanted to stand up with it on my back to see what it felt like. I think it was like 700 pounds or something, and I wasn't going to take it out of the rack. I just got underneath it, stood up, lifted it up off the rack just to see what it felt like to have 700 pounds on my back, and then I set it back down, and my buddy goes, he goes, the only reason you do stuff like that is because I can fix you after you screw yourself up. There was a lot of truth to that.
Throw him against the wall and then put a body cast on him.
Exactly. I was when I was a powerlifter. I used to, when you hold the bench, when you're doing a bench press, you get the bar and you get both hands on the bar, and most people, you wrap your 4 fingers around it, and then your thumb wraps around the opposite way.
Right. That's a good idea,
But it's a fantastic idea, actually. But what I liked to do, what I used to do up until this moment, was I actually wrapped my thumb because it was more comfortable and I felt like I could get just a bit more leverage. I would wrap my thumb in the same direction as my fingers.
Oh.
So my thumb was laying up against the side of my hands instead of rolling around the other side of the bar, which worked for me for until
the bar fell across your neck.
Until it fell onto my chest, actually, and I was pushing the bar up. I had 280 pounds on it, and I got probably 3/4 of the way up, and it rolled out of my hands, and it hit my chest. I was fortunate that I had the workout partner that I did. This guy was the 3rd strongest guy in the state of Colorado, drug-free. He's 6 feet tall, 245 pounds. He had a 450-pound bench press, 700-pound squat, and like 650-pound deadlift. He was thick and strong. He was just
forget that. What the hell did he do to help you?
So the bar hit my chest. It obviously crunched my chest down, but then it acted like an accordion. All those ribs sprung it back up. It came up. It bounced off my chest and was coming down. It was going to land on my throat. And he caught it. He reached down and he caught that thing. 280 pounds. He caught it before it hit my neck and lifted it up. Like, basically, imagine lifting it up like you're pulling it up towards your own chest, and racked it. If it had been anybody else, I would have had a crushed throat, and I got it was really funny.
Did you break any bones in your chest?
No, I didn't. I was really surprised.
That's amazing.
It felt like it. Yeah, it felt like it. It hurt so bad. It was funny because he's one of these guys that's, he's real kind of aloof and real flippant about most things. Like, he doesn't care. He's like, screw you. I don't care if you're hurt. It's not my problem kind of attitude, And so I stood up. I'm like, oh my God, it hurts. It hurts. He's like, dude, lay down. And so I'm laying down on my back, and I'm like, oh God, that really hurts. And he's standing over me, and he has this look of just absolute genuine concern, which I've never seen on his face before. And it was so funny to see him actually concerned about my well-being, but I started laughing.
Oh, jeez. You know what? And that had to hurt too. But anyway, I've got to tell you, we're running over. I want to know where are you going to call? Are you going to be calling me from Wichita on Thursday?
I should be. I'll be in Kansas on Thursday. Yeah.
Okay. Listen, you have a safe trip. Just take your time, enjoy it, absorb all of that Tony Robbins stuff and all of the Trump University stuff. And when you get to Wichita, you'll be that much smarter and you'll be safe.
Absolutely. And next Thursday, we're going to talk about lead and how it leads to violence and pregnancies. I think that'd really be interesting. It's going to be fascinating.
Okay, my friend, you have a great trip. Have a safe trip. Tell Sarika that I said hello, and I was disappointed I didn't get to talk to her.
I'll let her know. Thanks, Robert. I had a great time.
All right. You take care. And for the rest of you folks, don't forget that we're going to be, when we come back from this break, we're going to be doing the birthdays for the day. We're going to do the secret daily teaching for your life, the Harvard business tip of the day, and then interesting but useless facts. And then after that, we'll be doing the tribute to the late, great Paul Harvey and the rest of the story. So don't go away. We've got a lot of great show left for you. We'll be right back after these brief messages.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchase high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4:42 p.m. Pacific time. Currently 89 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. It's on its way down to 61 degrees. And if you're listening to us on our syndicated global network and you're in London, England, it's 57 degrees and partly cloudy. And in Vienna, Austria, it is 66 degrees and mostly cloudy. But right now, let's talk about the Harvard business tip of the day. And the management tip today is respond to complicated emails first thing in the morning. You know, we've been warned repeatedly that it's a bad idea to start your day by checking email. It hurts your productivity and focus, but waiting until later in the day to tackle your inbox actually presents a different kind of a problem. Email that requires you to make difficult decisions often doesn't get answered. Research has shown that our decision-making capacity is finite and declines throughout the day. So the longer you wait to respond to that tricky email, the harder it's going to be. To counteract decision fatigue, try to tackle your most complicated emails first thing in the morning. Set aside 20 to 25 minutes when your mind is clearest. Doing so will allow you to finally respond to those emails that are languishing at the bottom of your box that you just procrastinate over because you can't think of the solution that you could have done very quickly if you'd done it first thing in the morning. Well, it's time for the secret daily teaching for your life. This is all about a positive mental attitude. You really do decide with your mental attitude whether you're going to be successful or a failure, whether you're going to be rich or poor, happy, sad. You're even going to decide how the people around you are going to respond by that mental attitude. Now, our teaching for today is if you have trouble visualizing, just feel what you want. Feeling is equally powerful. Whether you feel it or imagine it in pictures, both are creating. You'll know which one works best for you by how you feel. Now, feeling good is the key to creation. Just know that. Just, you know, when you get up in the morning and you go look in that mirror in the bathroom, just smile and say, man, is this going to be a fantastic day. And you know what? It will be. Guaranteed. Well, you know what today is, don't you? Sure you do. Today is Tuesday, it's July the 12th, and it is somebody's birthday. Well, the most important birthday of the day today is for my son-in-law, Richard Opp. Richard, this is his birthday. I won't tell you how old he is because he might get mad at me. But at any rate, we send our absolute best wishes to Richard. He is just the most magnificent young man that I've ever had the pleasure to know. And having him as a son-in-law is just a joy for me. And it's, he just makes my daughter and her two sons absolutely just does everything for them. He just makes them happy. That's his desire in life. Besides that, I could just go on and on. We're going to be celebrating a little bit later, so we'll see what happens. And you know what? Here's a guy born 1937. A lot of commotion going on with him now. He's a comedian, actor, author, television producer, musician, and activist. Best known for his role in, here you go, The Cosby Show. Happy birthday, Bill Cosby. And a fellow born in 1948, fitness trainer, famous for his short shorts and video series, Sweatin' to the Oldies. Happy birthday, Richard Simmons. And then finally, born in 1978, an actor best known for playing the lead role, of Eric Foreman on the Fox sitcom, The 70s Show. Happy birthday, Topher Grace. Well, you know what? Having done that, I think we ought to find out what's going on today in history. So July the 12th, 1543, King Henry VIII of England marries his sixth and last wife, Catherine Parr, at Hampton Court Palace. And in 1804, former United States Secretary of the Treasury Alexander Hamilton dies after being shot in a duel with the vice president at the time. And finally, in 1962, the Rolling Stones performed their first ever concert at the Marquee Club in London, England. Well, let's talk about the quote for today. The quote for today comes from Anne Radcliffe, and Anne says, "Happiness arises in a state of peace, not of tumult. Tumult, I guess I should say, is the way we should say it." Well, it is time for those interesting but useless facts. Now, did you know the oldest known vegetable is the pea? I didn't know that. That's kind of interesting. How about this? The most widely eaten fruit in America? Yep, the banana. Yep. And it's a good one, too. Here's one for you. The Adventures of Tom Sawyer was the first novel ever to be written on a typewriter. It was typed on a Remington in 1875 by Mark Twain himself. Now, Twain, however, wished to withhold the fact he did not want to write testimonials, he said, or answer questions concerning the operation of the newfangled thing. Yeah, give that some breaks. I didn't know that. That's kind of interesting, though, if you think about it. And an adult male gorilla is called a silverback because of the distinctive silver fur growing on their back and hips. Now, each gorilla family has a silverback as leader who scares away other animals by standing on their back legs and beating their chest. Kind of some of that we knew, some of it we didn't. And finally, in a day, the blue whale calf drinks approximately 130 gallons of milk. Give that some thought. I'll give you one more. A zebra is white with black stripes. Now, that's one for you to really give some thought to. Now, we have to take another short break. Do not go away. When we come back, it's going to be our tribute to the late, great Paul Harvey and the rest of the story. We'll be right back after these brief messages.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make the interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. And right now at 4:52 p.m. Pacific time, it's currently 89 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. That's down from 92 on its way to 60. And if you're listening to us on our syndicated global network and you're in Madrid, Spain, it's 75 degrees and clear. And in Tokyo, Japan, 79 degrees and mostly cloudy. But right now, it's time for our tribute to the late, great Paul Harvey. In the rest of the story, the biggest and best voice in America reveals the startling heartbeats behind the headlines. You know, Paul Harvey, one of America's favorite radio and TV commentators, heard on over 775 ABC radio stations and over 400 foreign stations. He was seen on 110 television stations and read in 300 newspapers. Recipient of numerous awards and honors, including 9 honorary degrees on the Gallup's polls list of America's most admired men. And the story today is, who was that masked man? Well, you know what? It was in many ways a very ordinary crime for the city of Chicago, and at that, a nonviolent one. In one sense, the robbery that occurred during the night on Friday, June the 18th, 1976, was the most ironic you'll likely to hear about for a while. 61-year-old Clay had driven all the way from California in his Dodge van. He was here on business, he told police later, and very tired when he checked into the Hyatt House. The van was parked in a lot outside his room, under a light, in fact, and Clay could see it from his window. But he was asleep that night when the robbery took place. Next morning, Clay got up, got dressed, and walked out to the parking lot to discover that his van had been ransacked. There were a tape recorder, a pair of binoculars, an outboard motor, and brand new fishing gear, even a cache of ammunition. But all that was left behind, unharmed, all they'd stolen was his gun. When the investigating officer raised an eyebrow, Clay explained that it was an antique, an 1866 Remington revolver, and his possession was all right because he, Clay, was a lawman himself. How strange that this particular lawman would one day meet his match in Chicago, outwitted by a petty crook. "I'll remember to hook up my alarm system next time," he said. And who might have guessed that this symbol of justice was to sleep through the only real crime that he ever knew? And that someone else would have avenged it for him? There will be retribution, he assured everyone with a barely perceptible smile. And somebody was heard to say, as he mounted the Dodge van and drove on his way, "Who was that masked man?" Why, he's Clayton Moore, the Lone Ranger. And now, you know the rest of the story. Well, folks, I want to remind you to get our app. If you've got a Windows product or an Android product, just go to googleplay.com and search Robert Cardoza Live. It'll be right there. You can download it. It's absolutely free. If you've got a Windows product, just go to your app store. Do the same thing. Just search Robert Cardoza Live. The app's absolutely free. It's the best way to listen to our show anywhere you are in the world. If we're broadcasting live like we are right now, you'll be able to listen to us live and chat to us while we're on the air. If not, you can pick up any of the shows that we have. They're all right there, and you can listen to them at your leisure. Well, one more time, I want to wish a happy birthday to my son-in-law, Richard. We're going to go out and celebrate here in just a few minutes. And on my next show tomorrow, I'm going to tell you how to avoid the independent contractor trap, and I'm going to answer all of your emails. Joel Saltzman, Dr. Wireless, will be here to tell you all about the newest wire technology news. And I'm going to continue our tribute to the late, great Paul Harvey and the rest of the story. Please tell all your friends about our show here on the RLC Broadcasting Network.
That's our show for today. Beginning today, treat everyone you meet as if they were going to be dead by midnight. Extend them all the care, kindness, and understanding that you can muster. Your life will never be the same again. So many of our dreams at first seem impossible, then they seem improbable, and then when we summon the will, they soon become inevitable. You know, the real secret of happiness is to make others believe that they're the cause of it. Robert Cardoza Live is brought to you by blogtalkradio.com every Monday through Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Now, go out and make it a great day. Your host has been Robert Cardoza, the technical advisor, Matchstick Digital, and your executive producer, also Robert Cardoza.